Got fired this morning from a company I have been working at for the last 8 years.
According to reports out of Japan today, the company now plans to lay off another 10,000 employees worldwide.
Launching a layoff bot that will automate your layoff process.
Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the job market again because I have gotten so many comments like this on my recent videos. You should do an update mass layoff video. Amazon are laying off another 14,000 employees. The market is cooked. So that is exactly what we're going to be doing today. We're about 7 months into the year already, which is pretty crazy to say. Time really does fly. But the news coming out month after month only seems to be getting worse when we're talking about mass layoffs, finding a job, or the market as a whole. So we have a lot to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's start off with some recent mass layoffs.
Another day, another round of mass layoffs. This time it's outside of the tech industry. Chevron, one of the largest oil companies in the world, is laying off 800 employees in Texas, and they plan to lay off 20% of their global workforce by the end of 2026.
Things seem to be getting much worse for Nissan. According to reports out of Japan today, the company now plans to lay off another 10,000 employees worldwide. And that's in addition to the previous layoffs, which brings the total to right around 20,000, or roughly 15% of their total workforce, which is crazy.
Microsoft layoffs go harder, termination effective immediately with no severance pay. This is insane. So Microsoft has initiated a wave of performance-based job cuts with affected employees losing their jobs effective immediately and receiving no severance packages, according to termination letters sent to staff.
And I mean, we could go deeper into this. With Microsoft's 6,000 employees are being laid off. The cuts will be across all levels and geographies and are likely the largest layoff Microsoft have done since they fired 10,000 people in 2023. Amazon CEO says company will cut jobs amid AI boom. It's already happening at Microsoft. Intel will shut down its automotive business, lay off most of the department's employees. Disney lays off hundreds in the latest round of job cuts despite increased revenue. Procter & Gamble cuts 7,000 jobs. Exit brands as consumer uncertainty weighs. Volkswagen here, another 7,000 factory workers cut. I mean, there's almost a new one of these articles every day.
UPS is looking to slash about 20,000 jobs and close dozens of facilities. It's cutting down on the number of Amazon packages it delivers. The company plans to make the job cuts this year. UPS anticipates closing 73 buildings by the end of June and may close even more facilities later. In January, UPS announced a deal with Amazon, its biggest customer, to lower its delivery volume by more than 50% by the second half of next year.
So when we talked about this months and months ago, a good portion of these layoffs were in the tech industry, and that's still happening today. But now you could see it's almost across the board. And if you just search up mass layoffs or I got fired on TikTok, the amount of new videos being uploaded every single day is unbelievable.
Oh, just got laid off, so if you have any tips and tricks for a hot girl unemployment summer, let me know.
Guys, I got laid off again. 2 layoffs in the same span of 6 months is crazy.
I got fired this morning from a company I have been working at for the last 8 years. I've had the same boss for the last 8 years, and yeah, it happened this morning. 9 a.m. I had a meeting booked with my boss. Our HR business partner immediately joins the call. They tell me that due to restructuring, they have to make hard decisions, and they have decided after review at all leadership levels that my job will be terminated. This came as a massive shock. There was no performance improvement plan. There was no conversation about how I could have been performing better. They essentially just told me, effective Friday, your role is no longer here. My only question I could muster the strength to ask is like, what's happening with my team? Are they also being let go? And they said that they could not answer that question at the time.
So after 8 years of working at the company, she ends up getting laid off. No warning, completely out of the blue, you are now out of a job. And if you saw my video a few weeks ago, specifically looking at older workforce, there was example after example, 20, 25, 30 years working at one single company. And as soon as there's any restructuring, boom, you're out, you're canned. Just adds into the fact that company loyalty just does not exist anymore. They don't care about you, they only care about the bottom line. Even if they make you do stuff like this, watching my corporate corporate job cut me after moving me and my family across the state less than 7 months ago. There were a lot of stories like that, moving across the state, moving across the country for a job. And we didn't have that good of a quarter. Maybe our stock price didn't go up as much as we wanted it to. So now there's going to be some restructuring. And yeah, see ya. I mean, we could just take a look at my own comment section. I asked you guys, have you or someone you know been laid off recently? My coworker was fired last week and I might be next. Got laid off in February. I was laid off 2 weeks ago. Literally today, there were tons and tons of comments like this. The entire landscape is an absolute mess right now.
I am still shocked how many people in my comment sections are underestimating how cooked the corporate job market is. I've been in recruiting for coming up to a decade in July, and I've literally never seen candidates struggle as much as they are right now on the job market. And these are not poor candidates. These are not people who are unqualified. These are some of the most qualified people I've ever seen on the job market, and they are struggling. I'm hearing about people who are applying to thousands of jobs and not hearing anything back from any company. I'm hearing about longer and longer rounds of interviews, like 6, 7, 8, or 9 rounds of interviews. And some people go through that and then they get ghosted. I'm hearing about assessments, like personality assessments, take-home work, which a lot of times is unpaid. And I'm hearing about this over and over. And then when it comes to the offer stage, I'm seeing people get intentionally lowballed. Like they ask for 85K and the company comes back with 65K.
Everything he said in that clip, we've seen examples of throughout various videos on my channel. Getting lowballed, all the applications, the hours worth of job interviews, and then just getting ghosted. It really is just a nightmare. We could look at a couple of the comments. I have 25 plus years of sales experience, technical sales experience, and have applied to over 700 jobs, and have only gotten 2 interviews. The rest, I get emails that I'm underqualified. It's a joke. We have another comment that goes well with especially applying for jobs in today's world. I think ghost listings should be flagged by the SEC because you're fluffing your numbers for stockholders. I don't know if anybody's done the research of the percentage of listings that end up being ghost jobs. It'd probably be pretty difficult to actually find the numbers, but time and time again, a job listing will just get reposted every few weeks or every few months. We'll have hundreds or thousands of applications and nothing happens at the end of the day. But it definitely does make your company look better if you say, look at how many job listings we have. So many different positions open. We need so many people. Our company's doing so well, but nobody ever gets hired. It really is a joke. For this next clip, we have an example that I feel like so many people fell for when we were all in school, when you went to a 4-year university, and what that was supposed to mean when you got into the job market.
So I just got laid off from my finance job. The company decided to cut costs, and apparently my 4-year bachelor's degree from really good business school and graduating on the dean's list, plus passing my Series 7 on the first try, which not many people do, didn't meet the cuts, so they decided to make the cuts with my paycheck. Yay me.
Real quick, before I say anything, we look at some of the comments. Doesn't matter where you go to school. It only matters what they think they could split your work up onto others and get away with. Sorry that happened to you. They only care about themselves. Other people were talking about him going to an apparently prestigious school. Grow up, man. Nobody cares where you went to school and what your GPA was. They let you go because you were probably the last to get hired. I mean, maybe that was the case. I don't know. But how many of us were told in school, the better the grades you get, the better college you'll be able to go to. And if you get into any of the Ivy Leagues, to Harvard, Stanford, as soon as you graduate there, you could pick from your $250,000 a year jobs and live happily ever after. I don't have it in this video, but I did see a couple TikToks of a Harvard graduate and a Princeton graduate not being able to find jobs either. And now it really doesn't matter. If they need to cut costs, you could have gone to the best school on the planet and had the best grades ever. You're still probably going to get cut. Another comment here, recently got laid off a few weeks ago, went to an unemployment seminar in Georgia, and instead of expecting 5 to 6 other people, it was about 32. When the instructor asked if any of us were laid off, about 90% of us raised our hands. We're screwed. And I know it sounds bad, but honestly, good luck if you're trying to find a job. When you're going on sites like Indeed and LinkedIn, they are terrible.
I got laid off in December and it's June now, so I'm obviously not doing a good job at finding a new job. Genuinely, every time I apply for any job, it feels like I'm just buying a lottery ticket. Like, it feels more likely to win the lottery right now than to get a job. And I think that says a lot about the systems that we're using for job applications. I know there was a certain time where it would have been really helpful to use like LinkedIn or Indeed or these other websites, but they become so overrun with fake jobs, with fake applicants, with fake employers. It's just an absolute crap show there, and I just It makes me not even want to apply anymore. Like, I genuinely feel like I'm wasting my time sitting on these websites and applying for things. A lot of you are going to say, oh, you have to know someone at a company, like reach out to them, or just go in person. Oh, go to the actual website for the company and apply there. Trust me, I've literally done it all. At this point, I'm just at a loss, and I'm kind of like, do I even keep applying? Because I feel like I'm giving a little bit of my soul away every single time I apply and hear absolutely nothing back. We need new systems immediately.
I'm 100% certain that 80% of the jobs are fake postings simply to harvest our data. Then those companies would sell it off. I've been laid off for 5 months, but my spam calls have skyrocketed since applying. If LinkedIn was a serious ethical business, they would penalize companies that post over and over and over again with the same role and never hire anyone. There are just no consequences, so companies could keep doing it. You should not have to know someone at a company to get a job or even an interview. I know that should be the case, but that's really not the reality now. Networking and knowing somebody who's already working at a company is probably the best thing you could do, even over having a degree at some prestigious university now. And adding on to the comment where she was applying for so many different jobs, not getting any interviews, I'm starting to see a lot of clips like this which end up being an advertisement, but it's supposed to be relatable and help you in this job market, but honestly, I only think it's going to make everything worse.
My parents will never understand that this is the only way to get a job now. I've applied to like 200 jobs. And look, she's using this app where you literally just upload your resume and just shows you jobs. And if you want the job, you swipe right and AI literally applies on the company website for you.
So real quick, we'll look a paid partnership right on the bottom there on this TikTok video. And then in the comment section, the app is called Source, by the way, as if this whole video wasn't planned and scripted and paid for, just trying to be relatable to people in the job market. But the AI applications, this one looks like Tinder swiping back and forth. I've seen another one where you pay a monthly fee and you click one button and it'll apply to 50 different jobs with your resume. Wouldn't that just flood the market even more? Because then everybody could do it super quickly. There'll be thousands of applications each. A vast majority of them won't ever even be seen. And then the companies who are legitimately hiring will start using AI to have specific keywords, so a majority of them will just get thrown out as well. I think the AI stuff when it comes to applying for a job or searching for a candidate in your position is just making the market as a whole even worse. But we could start looking at a couple of the clips where AI is beginning to actually take people's jobs.
I just got my first taste of AI potentially replacing me. I do marketing for this client and they asked me to research some AI marketing tools, and then I realized that the one I'm researching that they asked me to would probably replace me because I don't know how much it would be worth it for them to continue paying me if they use this service. So I'm basically the architect of my own demise. I'm actually doing research to find the AI to replace me, which is really weird.
It's like interviewing your replacement. I do marketing right now, and we're teaching AI how to do our jobs with our internal research. It's learning from our mouse clicks. I am toast. Tons and tons of jobs like this come with me to get laid off from my 4+ year corporate tech job because AI took it. Not only is it taking jobs right now, there's interviews saying that a good amount of entry-level jobs will be completely taken over by AI in a few years, which then also adds into the fact that almost every other job needs 10 years plus of experience. But how are you going to get your foot in the door ever if all the beginner jobs are being done by AI? So we're going to switch over to some of the things that I would avoid and hopefully keep your job, because again, we are seeing a ton of people recording themselves getting laid off.
I just got this random meeting invite from work and HR is on it, and something tells me I'm about to get fired. So I'm going to record this because I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on.
Within like a case like this, I feel like it is hard because I wish I was given the chance to show how dedicated I am to this position because...
So you've definitely seen this before. The biggest account that got the most amount of views is this woman, Brittany. She uploaded the video twice, but in total it got 4 million views, and it was the same thing. She was getting fired on a Zoom call with the same BS paragraph of, oh, we'll help you through these trying times. We have restructuring in the company, blah, blah, blah. And I'm definitely not trying to defend any of these companies, but if you ever saw the fallout from this woman because of these videos, videos. There were a lot of posts online of her having breakdowns because of the upload. No company would want to hire her. Took months and months and so many applications and interviews, but they just saw her as a liability because if anything happens in the future, all of this will be put on the internet. So the last video she put up, 8 months later, I'm employed. So happy and grateful. That was November 18th of 2024, and she has not posted since. I'm pretty sure it's because she doesn't want to have any drama online, just work whatever job that she has with no issues. And I feel like a lot of people are putting themselves in similar situations, doing the same thing, recording themselves getting laid off, getting a ton of views, and then making it harder for them to find a job in an already terrible market.
I got laid off in December and I'm still doing content creation as a side hustle. Before I was doing it because I loved it. Now I'm like fighting for my life, like genuinely trying to make every dollar I can on this app, and I feel like it's ruining my content. But I also think what's ruining my ability to get a job is being on social media and having a platform.
So I actually forgot to say it earlier because this is the same content creator from the clip before, but this is somebody with 95,000 followers. And another person realizing having a social media presence makes it harder. Now, if you look at her videos, it's not like she's talking about her job and all the drama, but in today's world with this job market, they want a cog in the machine, someone with no drama, no problems, won't be a liability, and that's exactly what they're going to get, unfortunately. I'm not saying that it's fair, you know that. From all the videos that I've made on this channel, almost everyone's overworked and underpaid, but at the end of the day, you're still going to need a job to pay the bills. But there are an increasing amount of videos saying the exact opposite, that people should quit their jobs now and just focus on your dreams as if it's just that easy.
Girl, quit your job. I know you've been thinking about it. Just do it. Quit your job, book that flight, move to that city. I know you want to. Just do it.
With what money am I supposed to do all of that? But at least the comment section was much more level-headed. Don't do it unless you have a very solid financial situation for a year. I don't even have the money with my job. Book that flight, move to that city. With what money? There you go. I did that, now I'm homeless. With what money, Samantha? I know it's supposed to be motivational content, but it's a lot easier said than done now. I know there are so many different people making money online, whether it's part-time or full-time or a crazy amount of income. Being a traveling influencer or something along the lines of that, but it doesn't mean that everybody on the planet is going to be able to do that. And even with me knowing how bad these jobs are, if you do have some sort of steady income right now, this is not the time to be messing around with that.
So I just logged off work, my corporate job, very stable paying, very fine, ordinary, but I want to quit. Every part of me wants to quit, and no part of this job feels fulfilling to me at all. And so I wanted to come on here and ask, for those who have quit their corporate job, how you guys are doing. If you guys have found something that you love, that makes you happy, that makes you money even. For those who have left corporate, please talk to me. Would love to hear your stories.
So we're going to see what life is after this moment, but real quick, we can look at the comments. Bro, quit. We're all burned out and cooked. Much easier said than done, being a random profile. I mean, he doesn't even have a name. He's user 229011. You have no idea who this person is. But yeah, now we can look at what the interview processes are if you did decide to quit your job because it wasn't fulfilling.
I had an interview for a sales engineer job. After getting off the call with the company's recruiter, he asked me to take this assessment online. Went on and did the assessment. It was a technical assessment, and apparently I did really well because after I finished it, he called me within an hour, scheduled me with the rest of the team and other people in the org, got through all the interviews, and got a verbal offer. The recruiter verbally offered me a position. I was just like, cool. Didn't tell me anything else other than he was going to give me an offer. And then didn't hear anything. I think a week and a half later, I was like, hey, so what's going on with this thing? And he said, oh, we just raised like a couple $100 million and the position's not there anymore. So we're going to have you interview with somebody else. I interviewed with the other person and never heard back from the company ever again.
So you basically went through everything but putting it down in writing, which we're going to actually see a little bit later, but he still ends up getting screwed. Apparently there's some other job and then he gets ghosted. There was never any job. Assignment might have been whatever they needed solving, unfortunately. Goes back to the take-home work that is unpaid. I guess is supposed to be to prove yourself to the company, but to me it just sounds like free labor. 100% went to a friend or family member of the owner. Another comment from you guys very similar to this. In some cases, HR already knows they're hiring internally and are required to entertain a certain amount of applicants from outside the company, inevitably just wasting everyone's time and energy. What a great time this is.
I just had an interview at Sephora and the lady told me Over 200 people have applied for a part-time position, and she hasn't even checked it recently. The last time she checked, 200 people. Over. How am I supposed to get a job in this economy when 200 people are applying for a part-time position?
And this is one of the types of jobs that in the comment section says that's always hiring. Retail, right? Nobody wants to do retail jobs for good reason. It is terrible, but you have apparently 200 applicants that possibly used that AI resume tool that we saw earlier, which virtually makes your chances of getting hired non-existent. But because we are in the beginning of July, we can go over to the tried and true, the tech layoffs that's still happening all the time.
It's almost July, and that means more layoffs in the tech space coming. Microsoft's going to lead the charge. Intel's going to drop about 20% of their workforce. Meta, Facebook, Amazon, all of them, they're all gearing up. And I got the full list coming, so stick around for this video, but it's not the time to be dropping your job without having a backup, especially in the tech space. Things are not going to get any better as companies try to trim down their staff, lower their overhead, cut cost, because they've doubled down so hard on AI research and AI innovation. If you've heard of any other companies laying off, drop them in the comments here. But it's going to get rough. It's going to get worse before it gets better, guys.
We have another comment from one of you guys. I'm tired of going to interviews and they tell me that they'll call me and they'll never call me back. That is extremely common in today's world because they want every qualification under the sun to do a basic entry-level job before it gets taken over by AI.
Honestly, why are people even getting degrees and going into debt nowadays when we can't even get the most basic level jobs? I just saw this TikTok and it was like, do you need a master's degree to be a receptionist because no one's hiring? Because nowadays people will apply to the most mundane jobs, if not with a master's degree, and still get denied because you're not what they're looking for. You're telling me I can't answer a phone? People always ask why I went to law school and it's like the job market is so bro. I applied to so many jobs. I applied to Twin Peaks and got denied, okay? And like I get it, I don't have very much serving experience, but I'm literally in law school. I've had multiple jobs. The only interview I could get is Target with a college degree. Like Target. And not even the position that I applied for. Like basic level Target associate, okay? And people want to hate on DoorDash, Uber Eats, Uber, Lyft, different side hustles, social media. But like maybe if a job would pay more than $14 an hour with a college degree or enough to get a apartment, people would stop doing those things.
I've also seen videos in certain areas talking about DoorDash that people who were applying to do that, part-time, a side hustle, something like that, were getting denied because there was too many people doing DoorDash already in that area, in that town, in that city. But we can look at some of the comments. I just got my master's and I'm still getting denied. How are you going to get experience if they don't give you experience? They want a master's plus 5 years of experience for only $20 an hour. And another one of the issues when it comes to getting laid off, if you are older in the workforce, it is going to be pretty rough for you right now.
I found out yesterday that I was one of approximately 150 people in my organization that got let go, laid off, restructuring. That's what we were told. The last 24 hours have been pretty tough. A lot of emotions. It's really the first time I think I've ever been laid off in my God knows how long I've been working. It seems like forever. 30 years maybe. I don't know. Long time. 30 plus years. I think this is my first actual layoff. So not performance based. So now I'm out in the market at 53 years old. Don't know what's going to happen. I know there are a lot of people out there that are in the same boat with me or been in the same boat. Job market's kind of crap right now. So I'm not looking forward to trying to find a new one. So here's post one of I don't know how many, but we'll see where it goes from here.
I've been laid off several times from various mortgage banks over the past 25 years. Last layoff was 3 years ago, and I'll never find a mortgage job again. I'm 58 and unemployable. Currently in the same situation. Mid-March, I was laid off, 56 years old. I got over the initial shock, and I'm now in the frustrated state trying to get interviews. I just got laid off 2 weeks ago, corporate America, tons of comments like this. And I mean, it's getting so crazy that we're starting to see stories like this where companies are legitimately breaking the rules now.
If you're struggling with the job market right now, just know that I literally was offered a job, signed a legal contract, was told to quit my current job, was meted and greeted by the whole team, gotten coffee, so excited to have you next week. And then on my last day of my 2 weeks notice for the job that they told me to quit, I was told that the company did not have the funds to bring on a new person and they were rescinding my offer.
Time to get an employment lawyer with 44,000 likes. Lawyer here, you can't rescind an offer that's already been accepted. That's called a breach. Legally, they actually owe you a year of what your salary would have been if they didn't let you go. Sue them. That's basically what everybody's saying in this comment section, but I guess this company hoped for this woman to just keep searching for a job after all of this and it would just all blow over. There's no way that whatever company this is didn't know that this wasn't allowed. But after looking through all of these different issues, this is basically what we're going to finish with. So many people are just fried. They are completely done with the working world.
Hey, what's up? I'm Rylan. I'm 24 years old, about to be 25. I've been working in corporate America for a little over 3 years now, and basically I want to drive my car into a tree because what is the point of this? None of it matters. I can't save any money. My rent's twice the price of an average mortgage. I got student loans that I can't pay, just letting them add up. I can't start a business. I have no money. I mean, what, I'm supposed to just work this job for 60 more years? No thanks, just right into the tree.
So I don't think I really have to say don't actually do that, but you understand what he was trying to say in the video. But if we're going to look back to the past few months, even the past few years in the market, it doesn't really seem to be getting too much better. Probably going to see the same types of stories just get even worse. I can hope for the best, but I've been saying that since I basically started making these types of videos. So that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.